What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So happy to have you. This episode is gonna be a fun one because I'm doing something. I'm making something. It's kind of like a show and tell meets an experimental process. So I'm happy to share this experience with you guys. In this episode, I developed C-41 for the first time. I did 9 rolls of color negative film and I did it all in one sitting. Mixing the chemicals wasn't too hard, it was very straightforward, so I kind of blew through that pretty fast. When I actually got into developing the film, having to, heat it up, that part was a little bit tricky, only because I had to make sure I got my water pretty hot, but didn't overshoot it with heating up the chemicals. So finding that balance was a bit tricky because when I developed, black and white film, I had to make sure that my developer is at room temperature, whereas color negatives, I had to make sure that the temperature of my chemical was at 102 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was just a bit of a reverse for me. I'm not gonna lie, I was like a bit stressed because I wanted it to be exact numbers because I wanted to have the best results for my color negative film. I did find the actual developing process a bit easier than developing my black and white film, only because it's less steps for me. It's less developing time, and it's also less on my fixer time, and the stabilizer was like nothing at all. Time-wise, I saved while developing color negative film as opposed to when I'm developing black and white film. So that's something I really appreciate when I develop color negative film now. As I got to the end, I felt like I had done everything correctly, so I wasn't too stressed, but I still had this overwhelming feeling of joy when I took the film out of the canisters, out of the roll, and I saw exposures. I was like, yes, I did it. I didn't mess this up. I almost cried, but I didn't. I was just really happy, and I couldn't wait to do it again, honestly. The frustration for me came when it was time to scan these color negatives in. There is a learning curve to developing color negative, just like there was a huge learning curve for me when I was developing black and white for the first time. My first few months developing black and white, I made so many mistakes. Like, I can't even get into how many mistakes I made. So I guess I should have been prepared for the amount of difficulty that I had when I was scanning my color negatives. You have to color correct in the scan, make sure that you're getting the most out of your highlights and your shadows, and it's a lot. I read a lot of articles online, I watched some YouTube videos on it, and I'm just now starting to get the hang of what I want my photos to look like when I'm scanning them into my computer, so that I can then go on and edit them in my editing software. So patience will be the key for me. There was like a moment when I was like, you know what? I could just do black and white. I could just be one of those photographers that dedicates herself to doing black and white photography and stick strictly with that. And then I was like, forget that. I'm into photography. I have committed myself to the process of learning photography, and if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And I'm not going to shortchange my experience in my photography because I've run into something difficult. So I'm going to continue to push forward, find out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and just grow, because artistry is about growing, challenging yourself, and rising to the occasion to be better. And that's really what I try to promote on my channel. That's why I even started my channel. It was so that I can continue to grow and to learn in this photography community, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. So I'm going to continue to participate and push myself and encourage others to push themselves outside of their comfort zones as well. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the photos I developed for my first time. But one of these rolls actually dates back to January 2017. One of my friends had given me a roll of color negative film when I first got into film photography because they weren't using it. So I just shot it and I just had it sit in my fridge because I didn't have any way of developing it. And the other roll is from a trip that I took to Santa Barbara with one of my good friends and my sister over the summer. So comment below and let me know which photo you like the best, and I'll write down what type of film stock I used next to the photo. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, as I will be uploading more videos on a weekly basis. All right, you guys, peace.